Well, would you look at us here, huh? My big promise, the big promise that I made, the big proclamation, that big promise turned out to be a big embarrassment so far. I'm going to get to that. Plus, I got a great email that I want to get to here in a second as well from a broken soul who got their feelings hurt because somebody did on Instagram. We'll get to that here in a second. So, hello to everybody that live stream. Let's get into it. Why am I embarrassed? Well, I'll tell you why. I told everybody I was going to go live every day. Go live on YouTube every day until the end of the year. And life started lifing. For example, this weekend, get a call, or actually last week, get a call from my brother-in-law, says, hey, man, you want to go through some of your sister's stuff? Those of you who don't know, my sister passed away not that long ago. I'm trying to play with the light here. And so wanted to make sure that some of her jewelry went to people that really loved her and everything else. And I want no part of that. But I know Sherry, loved my sister and looked at her as her sister and vice versa. And I know that she would have wanted a little keepsake. So we went over there and all that did was break my heart. It was a rough couple days. I don't know what it is about being in her house and seeing the things she decorated with and all the other stuff she had going on. It was rough. And when it came to the box of jewelry that she had, it was so touching to see the way she carefully packed everything into these boxes. And it gave me even more insight of who she was when I wasn't around. And in her off time, not being my sister. So, it was pretty emotional, but this weekend I was able to take a little bit of time. The upside is I was able to take a little time to do some more grieving, which I kind of thought that I was in a place where, I'm always going to miss her. It's always going to be tough. And I knew that losing my sister was going to be a big deal. She was my sister, So I figured that a lot of it was going to pop up from time to time, but oh my God, did it hit hard this weekend. But it did, on the upside, it gave me a little more time this weekend to reflect on what's really important in my life. A little more time just to sit back and think about things. Let the thoughts come to me instead of me searching for answers, And it turned out to be pretty good. So I am upset that I broke my streak of not doing it live or anything like that. But, I've built up a lot of trust with you guys over the years. And I don't take that for granted. I don't take that lightly. It's hard for somebody who's just talking on a microphone to build up trust. And we've done that over the years with the advice we give, just showing people who we truly are, and it was, and I don't want to ruin that. And I'm afraid that some of these things like this kind of ruin it. But I've also built up kind of a reputation of a guy who likes to try a lot of things, like the Make It Weird, which, by the way, this just showed up in the mail today. Little Make It Weird t-shirt. Pretty cool, huh? I love it. Like the Make It Weird show, I'm doing that, and the Butter show and Chaos. And of course, my real job, Lex and Terry, which I'm in a groove there. I know how to do that show. I know how to prepare, and nothing will get in the way of that. I'm just trying to work everything in the middle of that whole thing. And an outsider would say that all this stuff really doesn't go hand in hand. You know what I'm talking about. It's a little psychotic trying all these different things. Many assume, I'm trying to find something that's going to hit, something that's going to make money. And they always say, man, you should just stick with the one thing and go for it. And I appreciate their advice, but if they call themselves visionaries, they're not really visionary because and listen, like I said, I know they're trying to help, but what they don't see is happening right in front of their very eyes. My current and only goal right now is to learn about YouTube. I like the format. I like the whole thing of it. And I like the challenges of it. And I really, and I'm just trying to learn how to do that. That's it. That's all it is. Then will come that highly focused BS I'm talking about. So I figured that I'll throw myself into it then once I really figure out how all this stuff works, what I'm really passionate about, what you guys are resonating with. I thought I would just go live to the end of the year, learn a lot more about the system, practice some edits. How do I add music to things? Thumbnails, cameras. Do I need a different camera? Lighting, which I don't know anything about lighting. What time of day should I do it? Should I go live? Who's going to be viewing the most at certain times if I choose to go live? If I don't go live, what's a good day and time to post? All that stuff you got to learn. So that's what I'm still going to be doing almost every day, as much as I can until the end of the new year, till the start of the new year, actually. But over the weekend, to tell you the truth, I made some pretty good strides and I made some solid decisions, which I was not expecting to do. The first decision I made had nothing to do with all this stuff that I have going on. It had to do with my health. And I think that everybody should decide to take care of their health, no matter what. Be proactive. Had my big checkup a couple weeks ago. Turned out everything's fine. Asked them if I could go hard, work out as hard as I want. I have a history of heart problems in my family. And I've been cleared to just go as fast as you want, do anything you want to do, So I'm excited about that. And my health is going to be my number one priority. I'm scheduling my hour and a half a day to do my workouts, to get sweaty, to take care of myself, to turn the phone off. I'm not going to be listening to podcasts when I'm doing it. I'm just going to be in the moment and really enjoy every second I have of being alive and seeing that my body's working. The other thing that I decided over the weekend was I just need to trust myself more. I give too many people the benefit of the doubt of knowing more about what's better for me than I do. So I decided over the weekend, I'm done with all these how-to videos that I've been watching. Turns out all these how-to-do YouTube videos are just a way for people to sell a class. I mean, it's kind of sleazy. It makes me feel dirty watching it because every single one of them has all the same strategies. They'll lure you in with, I'm going to give you some free advice. And then they give you the advice. Then they hit you up on their email. They want you to sign up for the email. Then they send the email. Hey, if you want more of that, you can do it. And listen, I'm not harassing or mad at anybody who's trying to make a buck. But to sell people that they're going to be good on YouTube is a lie. It's a lie. The truth is you got to be real. You have to be authentic. Everybody says it. And the only way to do that is to do and talk about the stuff that you love. It's the only way to do it. And I think, and it's just me, the only way to do it is to cannonball into the pool. Kaboosh, None of this put your finger in the pool or your toe in the pool to see if the temperature's right. No, temperature's never going to be what you want. You got to throw your ass into it and then take the lumps along the way. So I had to say goodbye to all these little shows that I was watching. I want to thank them. And I also want to say to them, you're sleazy. The Neil Holmes Show, the Tube Talk from vidIQ, the YouTube Creators Hub. That was an interesting one. Think Media. This guy puts out something like 5 times a day about, best ways to make it in shit, and they put out some information. But the truth is all of these things, Shane Hummus is another guy who I started to trust a little bit. I'm going, this guy isn't as sleazy as the others, but then he was just as sleazy as all the others. And I hope that, people get advice out of them. I hope it works. And I appreciate what those guys are doing. I know it doesn't sound like it. I think I picked up some pointers, but, this Shane Hummus guy, I even offered him. I said, listen, if you really know what you're doing, I wrote an email. I said, if you really know what you're doing and you think you could turn somebody who's my age into a success on YouTube, then I'll give you a cut of it. I'm not going to pay you 15, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 for a shot at it. If you really believe in it, Shane Hummus, if you really believe you could do it, I'm right here. I'm right here. You could go ahead and help me out all you want, and I'll give you a percentage of anything I make in the future. But I'm not going to pay you up front. I don't know why anybody pays these people up front. So there you go. But the truth is, another question I was asking, can a dude my age, a dude in his 60s, make it on YouTube? First of all, what does make it even mean? How do you define make it? I have people that hate me right now because of the Lex and Terry show and hate the Lex and Terry show. We've been doing this show for over 30 years and they don't think we've made it. You know, I guess making it to them as being the biggest thing in the world. I define making it as being able to do a job that I love for my entire life, to be able to pay the bills. My dreams do not fall, my YouTube dreams do not fall in the Mr. Beasts category or anything like that. Mine are much more attainable. I just love the platform. I love exploring ideas, and I'm very excited about what's going to happen, you know, and I do agree that focusing on one or two specific things, one or two specific ideas, whether it's, you know, make it weird or whatever, chaos, whatever, and throwing myself into that, that's obviously the best way to go. The only way I've ever had success in my life is throwing myself into it. When I knew nothing about radio, all I did was hang around radio stations, talk to DJs, learn all I could about it, you know, and through osmosis and because of sheer passion, because it was my laser focus, that's what was able to happen. So I know that that is definitely the thing that's going to have to happen in the near future for things. But I do want to thank you guys right now. Thank you for your patience with me. Thank you for sticking through me with this. I am a little embarrassed that I didn't do it every day like I've promised, but I'm going to keep going. You know, things happen. And, you know, it was an emotional weekend, to say the least. And that was the last thing I wanted to do, was anything along the lines of this. But thank you guys for your love. Thank you guys so much for your encouragement. I am not done. All right. But let's help somebody out. I got this email. Let me pull it up here. Got this email. It says, Terry, I recently noticed that a pretty good friend unfollowed me on Instagram. I haven't done anything to deserve this. I think they also made it so I can't see their stuff as well. I'm not blocked. Their posts just don't show up in my algorithm anymore. Should I ask them why I'm blocked? Should I unfollow them as well? Any insight would help. Thank you, Tish in Dallas. I assume that you're an adult, Tish, and I'm going to assume that the people that unfollowed you are adults as well. And it's weird because I recently had this happen to me. Recently. Now, people follow me and unfollow me all the time. And one of those experts I talked about talked me into buying one of these apps that shows you who started to follow you and shows you who unfollowed you. All right? Now, I hardly ever looked at it. And I've been cleaning up all of my digital profile and all the things that I'm paying for month to month. And I saw this app in red on my phone, and it had this little red balloon on it that had a thing that said 2K plus, which means I had over 2,000 messages or notifications that people either unfollowed me or unfollowed me. And as I was deleting it and I wanted to sign out of the whole thing, I don't want to pay for that anymore. Obviously, I hardly ever look at it. And why do you even look at it? What does it even mean? It doesn't even matter, does it? But I clicked on it and I saw this first person popped up. And I saw it was somebody who I thought was a really good friend. They had unfollowed me on their business account and they had unfollowed me on their personal account as well. Now, I was friends with them and their partner, and they broke up. They broke up, and I guess since you break up, I guess you have to decide who you're friends with again, or I don't know. I'm an adult, okay? And I can separate and like both of these peoples for different reasons, and which I did, and which I do. At first, I kind of laughed when I saw this person unfollow me. I thought, what a bitch move. You know, my feelings were a little like I was miffed a little bit. I couldn't believe that I was miffed a little bit, like you, Tish. But after all, it's their choice. But I didn't unfollow them because I still really like this person. I'm a fan of their business. I'm a fan of their passion. I'm a fan of how strong they are. I'm a fan of how focused they are. And I've cheered them on, and I've even helped them in ways that I thought I could help, which wasn't much help, okay? Helped them as much as I could. Anytime they had a victory, I celebrated with them. I was so happy for them, legit, so happy to see my friends succeed and earn all these accolades that they deserve. And then I went from seeing that they unfollowed me to feeling a little used by them. And that lasted for about 8 seconds. Then I went, I'm not, listen, if you're going to unfollow me for whatever reason, that's fine. But I chose to keep the feelings good, Tish. I chose to keep that and not play the games. All right. But once again, since I can't see their post anyway, I mean, there's no need to follow them anyway. So I may unfollow them just for purposes, just to clean up my whole account. But they played their hand. I know I was a good friend, and I know I was a supportive friend. I know that there was no gossip. There wasn't anything, shenanigans, nothing weird in the thing. So it's pretty much their loss. So Tish, I guess what you got to do is do what you got to do. It's a shame. You're an adult. They're an adult. But you don't need an excuse. You don't need an answer, because all that will do is maybe they'll make them follow you back. And then you'd go, well, they're only following me back because I bitched about it. The truth is, that's the way it is. I have many people that have worked with the Lex and Terry show in the past that I considered close. We went through war together, who I don't follow. They don't follow me. There's plenty of people that used to work for the show that I do follow. And, for whatever reasons. So a lot of the times it's just leaving your past behind. So Tish, don't worry about it. I personally would not ask. I personally would not. I might unfollow them, but I wouldn't make a big, I'm unfollowing you. Take that. I wouldn't do that at all either. So just let it go. It's social media. Social media is so fake. It's not even real life. So don't even worry about it. Let me see what some of these people are saying in the chat. I'm sorry that I haven't been talking to you in the chat. Let's take a look and see. Let's say hi to some people. Hello, Keith. Good to see you. Izzy, good to see your name again. You haven't heard anything about Jackson in a while, huh, Larry? Jackson is doing good. Talked to him the other day. Still kicking ass, still cranking. He better hang on for a long time, because I have 2 brothers and a sister, and I've already lost 1 brother and 1 sister, and I don't like it. All right. Hello, Greg. Good to see you. Can we start talking about how good the Seahawks are this year? You know what? We can. I'm excited about this 7-2 start for the Seahawks. This is pretty exciting. They are no longer boring to me. I don't find them, as a fan, I don't see these 3rd and 23 plays so often anymore. So I'm cheering them on. Let's see here. I say bring back Biscuit. Okay, Matt. Biscuit was great. She was fantastic. Let's see here. The best morning show I've ever heard, in my opinion. Thank you very much. Let's see. Everybody's talking to each other about Sarah being a flight attendant. Yes, she's doing that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys keeping each other informed in the chat as well. I try not to have the chat on when I'm talking, when I'm doing my whole spiel, because I don't want to lose focus and I want to get that thing out of there. But guys, hey, I went live today, and I think we helped somebody out. And thanks for listening and being part of my life. I really do appreciate you, and for doing all that kind of stuff. And another thing that I thought about over the weekend is how sleazy and cheesy I feel when you ask people to subscribe I mean, I'll do that on Instagram or something, just leave a link to make it easy for people. But I'm not going to ask people for anything. I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask for donations. I'm not going to ask for money. I'm not going to ask for any of that shit. I can't do it. If you guys like it, you like it. We get an audience, we get an audience. The thing is, I just love the fact that we are connecting here and we're creating, I hate the term, but we are, got a good group of people here. And, people in the industry call it a community, but we got a really cool group of people here. I can see by the chat with you guys helping each other out and talking to each other. And that's what I really hope happens. If there's any sort of financial thing that would happen, as I have to feel like I need to say this now that I said I'm not going to ask for anything, I could see maybe doing a pay for thing in the future for extra content or something. But other than that, no, I just can't do it. I think what we're building here and what I want to build is a little more important than somebody doing anything they want. I mean, people could always buy a shirt, people could always do things, and all that stuff does help. But thank you so much, guys. And Matt says, and didn't make it weird. I love it. I love it, guys. Thank you so much. What other chat is he using? Is this also on Twitch? Yes. Right now, anything that I'm on this thing called Riverside that streams everything out. And it's streaming right now to Twitch, to Instagram, and to YouTube. But all of the videos live on YouTube. All of the stuff lives on YouTube. And some of the stuff will only be streamable on YouTube because I'm going to be streaming from my phone, like doing stuff up at the kitchen, doing things like that. So it'll only be on YouTube. So if you really care about it, like the butter show and the thing and the thing that I'm going to be doing with more of the Sherry Gang of Two. That's another thing I forgot to mention. We've got some great emails coming in with that. That's probably going to be just on YouTube as well. So you may want to follow there as well. All right, guys. So right now, and so the bottom line to answer your question, if you're on Twitch and you're making a comment, it shows up here. Or if you're on Facebook making a comment, it shows up right here. Or if you're on YouTube making comments, it all shows up right here. So I can see all the comments right in front of me. So thank you, guys. Have a great day. And talk to you later. Have a great night. Back live tomorrow with Lexa Terry. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to a shortened week, a little shorter of a week. But we'll talk to you later. Have a great night, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you.